Christopher Paul Roan is an alien among humans brought to this earth December 9th of the earthly year 1994. Though it would be years before I would meet this ever-elusive and reserved E.T., in 2021 he would find himself at my mother's home, photographing, as you might imagine. Since that moment, I have been mentally compiling the facets that make up this mystery of a man. Now it is finally time for a dive into Kuhrees. Level 1. This level has facts that are almost readily apparent if you've ever just seen Chris in person or observed his online presence. Hard worker. He has the work attitude of a chain-smoking 10-year-old in the Industrial Revolution.
Wow!
Rain or shine, he will be there. It is how he climbed from worker grunt to almost manager at his current job in less than a year. If you've ever observed him work on a project or work at work, you know. If you know, you know. That damn camera. This man photographs everything. Absolutely
Wait, I film you.
everything. Nothing more to say. If you've met him, you've seen this anyways. Castles out of paragraphs. Chris is an absolute legend with oration and storytelling, whether it be his Instagram or upcoming blog post or his many short stories and anthologies.
Louisiana, and embroiled in the most harrowing and dangerous case of his career. 7 young women in neighboring Jefferson Davis Parish have been brutally murdered. Wow, that sucks.
This man has a creative dark mind that could impress the likes of Guillermo del Toro, Stephen King, Junji Ito, and even comedic genius Jordan Peele. Seriously, just ask him about Taiwanese scooters. Somehow, he'll make it interesting. And scary. You'll be there a while though. Scream King. Duh, he's an absolute horror fanatic. Loves everything dark, though we'll get into what specifically tickles his pickle in this genre later in this video. Family man. If Chris isn't at his job or working on one of his art projects, he's probably by his mama's house, hanging with Robert, or on the phone with David or Lane, or visiting with his brothers. He's super family-oriented. Absolutely going to be an amazing father one day. Also the best homie you could ever ask for. Them ears, bro. God carefully crafted Chris's ears to suit him as the perfect listener. This man can sit and listen for 30 minutes straight and be able to pull every key detail from what you told him. It's why crazy people are always finding him. He will give almost anyone the time of day for just about any subject. Even the crazy glass-blowing communist man at Renaissance Fest. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we're moving on to level 2 of the iceberg. This level should be one that only family and close friends will know. Belly of a beast. I put this one here just because you may not see the man eat if you don't see him often, but let me put it this way. The average great white shark eats about 11 tons a year. Chris puts those just to shame. And somehow he keeps Scooby-Doo Shaggy's lean physique. The food must just evaporate out of his belly as he sleeps. His order when we eat out, y'all, it's always exorbitant. Nothing. If you need to distract Chris for any reason, just ask him, what is Palmer's significance in the thing? He will be talking for hours. Seriously, this man is so obsessed with this movie, the 80s one with brilliant special effects such as... You could keep this man talking for hours about this specific film right here. Every time we discuss the topic, he advises me of something new he's gleaned in his 1001st rewatching. Sweet Southern twang. He's that sweet Southern kind of man. Fix it, Sam. Or maybe even PETA. He doesn't have an accent.
Okay, I'm gonna sound like cornbread and I'm not gonna apologize for it.
But he's sure shit country. The other day he shared a recipe with me that his grandmother would apparently eat on the front porch on her rocking chair. Strawberries, sugar, and milk. He also puts Tony's in absolutely everything. He will go to town on some turkey neck, and it's nobody's business how he handles a kayak and a beer. Dead Space. Here's another installment in the horror genre that our mystery man absolutely adores. He can identify by name each species of necromorph. At least I believe he can. He beat the incredibly tough Callisto game in a weekend. Ask him to talk about the Ishimura. Cruella de Vil. Now, I put this in the close friends and family category, again, because it's visually kind of easy to miss. But if you see him consistently, you'll probably start to identify it. Baby's beginning gray patch. It's right at the center of his beautiful dome, hence the title of this entry. Okay, so now we're moving on to level 3. This is the level where I say maybe friends and family will know. I can't definitively say whether they do, but I would say maybe they will know these things. Outer space. Chris has a fascination with outer space, or more specifically, its effects on humans. He absolutely adores horror stories that take place in space, where the fear is from being so isolated and at the mercy of the galaxy and meteors drifting carelessly around you. Aliens are a welcome addition, though. Every last drop. This one, you know, if you've ever lived with the man.
He will use every item until it physically cannot be used anymore.
The toothpaste will have a pinch of paste left, and he will insist on keeping and using it. He will use shoes till the soles have holes. His first wallet was quite literally falling apart before this human woman bought him a new one. Manhwa enthusiast. The title is self-explanatory. If you catch him looking down at his phone, he's either editing photos or reading a Korean comic. Most likely, the latter. Bob. Man loves a good wig. Just look at this clip.
You look like such a creature in the photo I just took.
Stunning. It's starting to become a trend, too, that every time he gets dressed up, the Cher wig returns. Please, no more books. Chris is an avid collector of books. Mostly photo books, but also many narratives. A large portion of which is attributed to one Stephen King. I've been unable to convince him to part with any of his books in the 2 years we've been together, and our front room is truly overrun. And mine sit in my mother's house, awaiting space to join our family over here. Sentimental King. While normally cool and quiet on the surface, Chris is a very sentimental and loving man. I once watched him cry reading a message from his mother where she said she missed him. He has such a love for life that he is easily reminded emotionally of how fragile and wonderful life is. The little things, you know, like a call with family or a nice rain, bring him peace. I'm not sure how much of this he shows to his close friends, but he really loves the hell out of y'all. His heart is bigger than his stomach, somehow. Alright, y'all, we're moving into the final stretch. Now, Layer 4 consists of things that I believe only I know. Scary music. If you see Chris working on photos or writing, he likely is listening to dark ambience. Something like this. On his Spotify Wrapped this year for 2023, you can see his most listened to musician was Ryuichi Sakamoto. He makes music like this. My man is an absolute edgelord. But hey, the art he creates is amazing. You go, Kaneki Ken. Ponyo. The only one-up he has to annoy me back when I bug him is to tuck his lips over his teeth and mouth at me like the siblings in the Studio Ghibli film, Ponyo. I don't know why, but it drives me nuts. And he looks really silly when he does it. Destroy all humans. Specifically the first installment in the game series, this is basically his comfort game. While I'm managing my furniture on Animal Crossing peacefully, he's extracting brains and throwing people into fences on Destroy All Humans. Deep cut 80s films. I don't know how this man manages to do it, but he somehow always finds the most obscure, strangest films, especially 80s acting thrillers. I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but he attracts weird movies as much as weird people, which is probably why I'm here, but, you know. Ego! My god, does he absolutely adore this cat. He feeds her near the same damn amount he feeds himself, so we have to change the kitty litter every week. It's insanity. One day Ego is going to explode like that bird from Shrek that Fiona sang to. Banyans. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. He has a bunion on one foot that I love to tickle with my toes. Man with the weird face. Okay, so while we were on our trip to Renfest the third go-round, 2023, Chris awoke out of his sleep and nearly punched me. Apparently, he had had a dream about a crazy man whose face morphed as he asked white students to read slurs in old books in class. It's definitely something that he'll never forget, and now neither can I. Loves Dunky very much. To Chris directly, you have continued to make every holiday special since I met you. Thank you for loving me, and I love you so, so much. Merry Christmas and happy birthday. I love you so much. Bye. Bye. And if you do have a minute, I would very much appreciate if you could click the link in the description and go check out Chris's blog. He works very hard on it and updates it once a week with a different writing entry. It's very interesting, and he's also got great photography on there, so go check it out. And I love you very much.